Hello and welcome back to the woods, and I've made it back to where some of you will maybe remember or have been here with me before, and that is Bluebell Woods. It does have an official name, a proper name that's on the geographical map, but for all intents and purposes, you know, this time of the year everybody knows it as Bluebell Woods. And you would have seen on the intro a carpet of bluebells, but that isn't the full spectacular finale for this woodland. It's about 3 weeks behind possibly where you are and everywhere else I've seen, even down here in Cornwall. So in the next couple of weeks it will probably be a proper full carpet. We will come back and see that, I reckon, or I'll try to. I'm here to get a wild camp in Bluebell Woods while there are bluebells, quite simply because I never know if I'm going to get the opportunity to come back and do a wild camp here, and I have multiple other wild camps in other locations I want to make happen this year. So I've got to take every opportunity and chance I can, and this is it. Weather is not the best. I've missed all the good weather down here in Cornwall. I've had various family things to do, and I do a bit of subcontracting work, which is a 0 hours kind of arrangement, which suits me, but it does mean when it's offered to me I have to take it. So I've missed all the really good weather we've had so far. I think Saturday is going to be raining, Friday doing this, a bit of drizzle. As we came back from the dentist this morning, and that's 3 towns away further down in Cornwall, the sea mist, fog and rain was following us up through Cornwall, and the high tors weren't really that visible. So I'm going to get a tarp up so I've got a shelter to get out of the weather. So I'm going to make that happen, and then we'll start to enjoy the surroundings here. Although, like I said, we don't have wall-to-wall sunshine. It's kind of a little bit misty, murky, and you can feel a few drops of rain in the air. I'm going to get that tarp up. Right then, guys, that clip that which you've just seen has led me now to go into like a soak period. I've got a shelter up. Before I do any cooking or get any of the camp routine going, I'm just going to allow whatever is happening in this woodland to happen. I want to go down and have a little look to see what has potentially happened there, because that's a footpath, not a byway, and it denotes there is 2 separate parcels of land. So I don't know why somebody on a quad bike tried to get through. It could be somebody just doing a bit of green laning and has took it upon themselves that they're going to go along a footpath. but they're not supposed to, by the way. I'm going to go down and check it out, but I'm going to just wait a few moments, and when I feel calm and I feel relaxed and I feel that this location isn't compromised, I'm going to go and get a cup of coffee on the go. It's a shame it's raining. I would like to wander around a bit more. I do have my Alpenflage poncho, which I'll put on when I go for a wander, because the aim of the game, if you're wild camping, particularly tarp wild camping, is to stay as dry as possible, because you get wet very fast, things become miserable, uncomfortable, and yeah, the main aim of the game is to try and avoid that. So I'm perfectly dry underneath here, but yeah, I'm just curious to know what was going on there, because it's 2 parcels of land, so the landowner on that side wouldn't be coming through into this piece of land here, and vice versa. And because it's a public footpath, no motor vehicles are supposed to be on it. So we'll have a little investigate in a moment. Now, I have set this tarp up with enough room for me to kind of almost stand upright. I know I've got my head rubbing against it now, but I can sit down, where's it to, in my chair and look out into the forest as it rains, which is going to be nice. But I haven't set a low tarp, if you're wondering why I haven't gone more stealthy, because it's going to be, if it's raining, it could be a long time under a piece of tarp. So I want the ability to stand up and not be hunched over and crouching all the time. So yeah, if I get over to this end, you know, it's not too bad. I can at least get to look around and stand upright, and that will make a big difference, particularly to somebody my age that kind of gets to the point you start seizing up if you stay in one position, particularly crouching or sitting on the floor, which luckily I don't have to, because I got that chair, and like I said, I can stand up in here now. Right, my kitchen area is actually dry. It's got a roof, because I got this little bit of overhang on this rock face here. I know what you're thinking, it's collapsed there, and some of you might remember that this was where we found other people that had used this area. I'm far enough away from that overhang, as you can see, and it's lovely and flat there for me to get my roll mat out. But I'm going to get that cup of coffee on the go now. So let's get to it. Right, I'm going to finish my coffee, then we're going to go down and have a look at that sty and try to work out how he actually got a quad bike, because there is a barbed wire fence there. Not a very robust one, but I can't see how he got past it, or I can't think how he got past it. It's not sort of like sitting in my mind how he would have done it, so I just want to quickly see. I can hear farmers moving cattle probably 3 fields away, but there is a major river and I can't see them getting cattle across that river to come this way into those fields. And the fields that we've just come down through on the public footpath, they have no gates or nothing like that because they've been used for crops. So they've left the gates off the field, so I'm not quite sure what's going on, if at all any of my suspicions are correct. I'm high up off the public footpath. I'm on like a rock face plateau. This is an extremely steep woodland, but I would still like to go down and alleviate any thoughts or fears I might have before I start getting, you know, into the full nighttime routine. It is getting quite dim because quite simply we've got rain clouds going over where it should actually be, yeah, quite light at the moment. Yesterday was glorious, absolutely glorious in the garden this time of day, but not so much now. Although listening to that rain on the tarp, and with the woods behind me and all the trees, this truly is a glorious sound. There is nothing actually quite like rain on a tarp, staring out into a woodland, and you've got no rush. And in fact, because it's a Friday, I don't have to rush away too quick. I'll get into that later on. But yeah, I don't have to rush away so quick. So I can enjoy the morning a lot more than I usually do. Mornings are usually a rush for me to get back before sort of 6:30, 7 o'clock. But I've got a little bit more time to play with to enjoy the morning in the woodlands. Now I have found some modern scratched in graffiti, basically people's names, but in around tucked away in the corner I found something quite remarkable. I'm going to let you have a look. I'm blown away by this. Right, I'll show you what I found. And look at that. Is that M? I can't fully make out what that says. 1831, I think that is. And what's that symbol there? Is that a shotgun? I don't know. I'm just guessing here. But hey, 1831. What a find. What a find. Right, I'll show you this modern graffiti. I don't think it's anything too untoward. It's probably stuff that we've all done as kids ourselves, and or carved into trees, similar sort of stuff. So I'll let you have a look. But the difference in quality of the graffiti from back then to what, you know, we or modern graffiti is even blatantly obvious that quality existed in people's minds more then than it is now. So I'll let you have a look. Right then, if we come up here, where is it to? As you can see, that's been scratched into the rocks, very rudimentary, nothing too somebody's put something there, but nothing of any real quality or real effort into that work. Right then, let's make our way down to the basically footpath sty and see what we can deduce is happening here, and it'll start calming a few nerves and making the evening go a bit more smoother if we can fathom out what we think is happening. So let's get down there, and it is starting to rain reasonably heavy, so let's get the hood up. Right, Right, see you down there. This hood is absolutely massive. Right, as we move away from camp, that holly is actually disguising the well, tarp quite well, and as we move even further away it's becoming even less visible. That's quite a nice little stealthy camp there. Right, let's make our way down here. It is really steep. We're back on the pathway now. Move down. I've just gone firm for a minute or two because I can hear people on the opposite side of the valley. Yeah, there's activity on the opposite side of the valley. There is a major river here and it's way too deep to cross or ford. You'd have to use a bridge. So they ain't coming over here, and like I said, I'm on a footpath. Or I'm kind of like camped 20 metres off the footpath, but up a kind of like, not an embankment, but well, a rock face. Right, let's push on down. Let's just go a little bit further down. Right, that's the opposite side of the valley, and as you can see it's a commercial woodland over there. And yeah, that side of the river is used for hunting, not this side here on this particular piece of ground. But the quad bike stopped roughly over here, but I can't see how he would have got through, or did he go through, or was it just an optical illusion? I'm going to go over and investigate anyway. Right, you can see the river over there, and I'm not going to get anywhere closer because that is another field of paddock. This is the public footpath, so I'm not going to go, that's private land, I'm not wandering in there, particularly as I know there is somebody around. Obviously I'm allowed to be on this public footpath. Right then, where are we? Can you spot it? Or spot the tarp anyway. You really have to look hard if you want to see it. See it now? You probably can. But you're zoomed in quite a lot of magnification now. Bring you out. Right, so unless somebody minded to go up there or look up there and really observe it, they're not going to see me tonight. Right, I'm just going to walk further up the footpath. I'm keeping my voice down because I'm not trying to give anybody the impression that there's somebody milling around here. And we're going to be going past the area they did the clearance of the ground. There is another gateway and sty up there. I want to see, you know, if there's anything happening up that end before I settle in and start doing my thing here. So let's make that happen. Right, we're running at the bottom of the valley now. We're almost in line with the river just over there. You can see the bank of the river there. But here's where they've done the clear burn, where they've burnt back all the gorse and ferns. by the end of summer it'll be a tangled mess again. That's just how fast it grows back. It is impenetrable by that point as well. So let's just crack on a minute and get this little bit of a look-see done. And here I was thinking I was going to have a very quiet, a very mundane and relaxing wild camp. It just goes to show the unpredictability of wild camping. Or doing it in the manner that I do it anyway. I'll let you have a look at this. You can see how much it gets burnt. There you go. Now I grant you, I really do grant you, if you're not, you know, that familiar with agricultural practices, you'll probably think this is almost like a nuclear bomb has gone off here. But believe you me, do you know what? I will bring you back before the end, well, before autumn, before the ferns die back, and you'll see the difference. That's the only way to explain it. But this will be an impenetrable mess by that point. Right, you can see the trackway that they've used to get up there onto that side of the valley. There is another piece of woodland here, but this also doesn't seem to offer much in the way of wild camping. There may be something on top of that plateau, I don't know, I haven't been up there yet. That's for another day anyway. I want to get back to camp and start settling in. Right then, there's several theories to what that quad bike was about. It was either A, the landowner checking the boundaries. He didn't come into this side, we established that, which was my biggest concern. If it was somebody who's trying to plan a route for green laning, they've evidently come up against a fence line and they can't go any further. There's no gates in the top fields at all, because quite simply there has never been since I've been travelling these lanes. And these fields the top bit gets planted for various different crops. I think it's being left to grass by the looks of it this year. But in any case, so we can rule out all those possibilities. The farm that's way on top the opposite side of the valley, they could be moving cattle, and that's what I could hear, people moving around in that opposite side of the valley. Or it was hunters, because I know they hunt in that opposite side of the valley. They could be trying to move the game or deer further down to where the deer stands are in the other woodlands. This is all guesswork on my part, but I know I'm safe here because this is private ground either side of this footpath, this side, and the landowner lives not too far down the footpath here, and they don't hunt or have nothing to do with hunting. So this here is safe for me to be tonight. If there was any shooting, it's going to be sort of like half a mile to a mile further down through the valley. So they were all moving the game down there, or it was the farmer, I think, on top of the valley moving livestock, I could hear. And that quad bike has no relevance to any of that. So yeah, I'm kind of happy now to settle into this evening. I'm going to get my food on the go as well. Pasta bolognese again, and adventure food. And yes, I am still eating up. That's how much food I bought to go to Scotland. But yeah, I'm still eating it up. so I'll be eating well tonight. Oh, I brought one can just to have a little beverage. It's not a strong one or anything like that. It's just something to enjoy after I've had my meal. But I'm getting it on before I lose light. I intend to settle into this camp now. Now all the tension and drama has dissipated, I'm now going to enjoy this camp. It was sort of like, it was getting to the point I was thinking, do I move on? But yeah, I feel quite content now to settle into this camp. So yeah, let's get this ready. Right there, I'm not taking the poncho off just yet because I'm still milling around, and I reckon I will be till I lose light. Then I'll take this off and hang it up probably under there to kind of like air off and dry overnight. Yeah, it's turned into a fantastic garment. Too heavy to do long distance hikes with, but milling around camp, this is fantastic. It's so thick and rubberized that it's keeping me, you know, really dry. As long as I slide my arms inside and cocoon myself, yeah, I'm pretty good. It would have been nice if it had arms, because then, you know, you wouldn't have to keep doing that. But anyway, that's by the by. Now, looking at that date on that, you know, graffiti or carving on that slate, 18 whatever it was, I've just had the local parish magazine dropped off to me, and it was talking about 3 young lads who went out to play one day. This was in the sort of like 1800s as well. And yeah, they went out to play, and which was nothing too unusual, but they came home and all 3 boys fell ill. Now, there was a big hoo-ha about it because, like, you know, nobody knew what would happen. Had they been, you know, intentionally poisoned? Had they, you know, been forcibly brought to harm? But anyway, one of the lads unfortunately passed away, and which was extremely sad. And the other 2 were extremely ill for a long period of time, but they did make a recovery. When they did an autopsy, they checked the bile on this young lad, and it had plant matter inside of the bile. Now, they assumed that the 3 young lads had, like, consumed or chewed or messed about with some sort of like, well, plant or some vegetation, and inadvertently they'd chosen a really toxic plant to chew on, and obviously one lad didn't survive, he perished. The other 2 were, like I said, were extremely ill for a long time. But that wasn't the end of the story, because obviously they had to go through the coroners, the police were involved at the time, and the police were called again to one farmer's fields beside the river, which a load of cattle and other animals, horses and that, had dropped down dead. And yet again, obviously, there was a police investigation, coroner was brought in and checked all, you know, what all the veterinary people checked all the animals, and it was yet again suspected it was poisoning of this particular plant, which possibly these boys had had. I forget the name of the actual plant that they suspect was the culprit, but it was found quite, you know, widespread along the riverbanks and everything like that. And that brings me to the point, just on the back of that date, because it was in that sort of like era, foraging. If you don't know what you're doing with foraging and just putting random vegetation or plants in your mouth, sadly that can be the consequence of those actions, of not knowing what you're consuming. That's another reason I haven't gone too in depth on this channel into foraging, because quite simply I don't know enough. I know enough to enable me to survive out here if I had to in an emergency situation, but not enough for me to dispense that information, because you have to get it right. You have to identify the plants right. So I would always say, if you want to do foraging or learn about it, go to a professional run course or do anything like that. Foraging is too easy to get wrong or misidentify, you know, a fungus or a mushroom or you know, any kind of plant matter, and before you know it, you know, you could find yourself like those three young lads. And that one of the lads sadly didn't make it, as I said. So yeah, if you're thinking about foraging, go and learn professionally or go on a course. By all means, get books and glean knowledge from YouTube and things like that, but I would do that as a passing interest. You can't beat going on a professional course. And that's something I might actually do at some point when I have the funds and time available, because I do have an interest in foraging more than what I already know. So yeah, it looks like my water's boiling anyway. Just a random story there for you. Careful when you're foraging, people. Right, that was lovely, that pasta bolognese. It hit the spot and I feel really warm and ready for the night. But I've got my coffee and I've got a Cadbury's cream egg, but it's actually the white version, white chocolate. So I don't know how this is going to taste, but it's dessert. So a Cadbury's cream egg. Once you get over the novelty fact, I can confirm it is extremely nice. One is never enough though for me, even though I'm on a diet. Right, I'm in under the tarp now. I haven't got my bedding out. I've just kicked any stones and sticks out the way. But yeah, I'm getting pretty much ready to settle down now for the night. I've doubled up. I've got a sweater or a sweatshirt underneath this. I got my black hoodie and I've got this U-back on just to take the chill off. I do have my Alpenflowers jacket I can put back on if I need to. But I've only got the outer part of the sleep system for the Arctic Army setup. That will be more than adequate for tonight. The inner part I've obviously left at home because obviously it breaks down into two components. The inner part, the lightweight sleeping bag, goes inside a medium weight bag, and that's how you get your Arctic capacity. So yeah, it's just the outer shell I've got, which is the medium weight, and the bivy bag. So, and the roll mats, and that'll see me through till tomorrow morning. So yeah, I'm looking forward to this, and I'm just gonna continually just listen to the bird song and watch the last light fade while drinking my cider. There's nothing more to say really, because I just like to watch the evening fade away, which is what I'm doing here now. I'll probably, once I get my sleeping bag, have a little look around on the internet, like you do, and then that will be it. So, catch you later. Well, it started raining again, and reasonably heavy. You can probably hear it on the tarp. I'll let you have a look at my very primitive setup tonight, but it will get me through, and I'll enjoy listening to the rain on the tarp as the woodland comes to life with all the nocturnal animals. So I'm going to enjoy this actually. I'm just going to lie here and just, well, let my mind drift away thinking about things. And without a care in the world. So yeah, I'll let you have a quick look, and I'm going to get into the sleeping bag. Got my chair over there. I've got my med kit, which has got all my charge stuff. I'm going to have to charge my phone actually. It's burnt a lot of battery actually. I got my Bergen there, and as you can see I've got my sleeping bag here. It's protected by the tarp there. I've got a ground sheet, and I've got basically 4 bits of foam there. Because I've got the capacity to carry it, it's not too far, I will carry the extra weight, I'm not too bothered. And obviously a ground sheet. In here I've got my thickest part of the Arctic bag sleeping system. It's the medium weight one. And I've got my camouflage jacket shoved into this bag, which I've pulled tight, and that's going to be my pillow. And here's my bivy bag on the outside, which is obviously waterproof as well. So I'm going to climb into this lot, get snuggled in, and listen to this rain. Well then guys, can you hear that rain? It's a really soothing sound. Right, I've got into my sleeping bag, and I can already tell, even though it looks dead flat, there is a slight roll off, and I can find myself sliding down into my sleeping bag. Every time I turn, I'm going down a few millimeters, so I have to keep shuffling up. It's not a big deal, because once you're asleep, you're asleep. But I'm going to turn everything off, put my phone on charge, and I'm just going to listen to this rain. Morning people, it's about 7:30, and as I think I said earlier, I don't actually have to rush off. I can actually enjoy a leisurely start to the day. It did rain last night, pretty much all last night, and it was heavy at some points. It's not that level there. I did actually keep sliding back out of the tarps, which I had to keep shimmying back up into it, so that was a little bit annoying. But yeah, it wasn't too bad a night. I'm going to get a coffee and some porridge on the go. I've just had a squirrel come blatantly just wandering straight along through camp here, and I tried to grab my phone. As soon as I made a move, he was gone. So it would have been nice to have captured that. But yeah, I'm going to enjoy a very leisurely start to the day. There is a bit of mist kicking around. Everything's really damp and wet. And on top of that, there is the odd drop of rain still coming through, but I think it's beginning to clear up. So yeah, let's get something to eat and well, enjoy relaxing here. I'm being picked up at about 10 o'clock, so if it's 7:30, you can see the kind of time frame I'm working with. But I'm really going to enjoy this, because usually, as if you watch any of my videos, the mornings are always a bit of a rush to get out of the camp. So yeah, let's make this happen. Well, in about another 40 minutes I'll break camp down and get it ready to hike out of here. It's not too far, it's just that it's uphill, and I'm not looking to break any speed records going up over this hillside. Yeah, we can't forget the reason I came here to do this wild camp, and that was the bluebells, and you've seen them at the beginning of this video, the intro. I've just come for a wander at the top of this little bit of woodland, and I'm just having a little look again. Will we get to come back while the bluebells are here? I don't know, because there's a raft of things that I want to do, other places I want to wild camp at, or places I want to wild camp at. And While my channel, I don't have the ability to do kit reviews and showing you new kit and things like that, where a lot of other channels do. What I like to think is that you get to come with me and experience different places and different kind of setups where we camp. That's what primarily my wild camping's about, being nomadic in my area. I might wild camp at one place 2 or 3 times, then I move on to another and keep it fresh. That's how I like it. So whether we get to come back and see all these bluebells in their full glory, I don't know. But we've been blessed to see enough to give us an idea of what Bluebell Woods looks like when it's in full bloom. Well, we've had a successful camp and it's been extremely pleasant not to have to rush off first thing in the morning. But it is time to go. Well, we've, had a good wild camp here. We got to see some bluebells. Quite happy with that. The visitor that we had brings into focus the videos that I'm putting together on how I go about wild camping. I will start producing the next phase of them, which will be going into the more detailed recce, which will cover a lot of points on how to stay to the shadows and stay hidden, which evidently worked because we weren't spotted. But in any case, I've got to make my way out of here. I've got things to do and places to be, like all of you guys. So thanks for coming along, and take care, stay safe. Hope to catch you guys on the trail.